rubber like Malcolm. Ball a fist in the air to the flashlight. Yeah.
Go to ourtinylittlekitchen.com for all your catering and barbecue needs. From on-site catering to taco bars, burger bars, soul food, jerk, and Mexican cuisine. We even roast pigs, available upon request. Visit ourtinylittlekitchen.com for a quote. Our Tiny Little Kitchen, where our food
of the national Latino vote. And when we talk about having Arizona, it was a great night for Latino voters in Arizona.
Glad you mentioned that particular point about when you mentioned Puerto Rico voters. Last night, I had Rosa Clemente on our coverage of the election. This is what she had to say. Venezuelans, you argue Democrats did not do enough to go after the 500,000 Puerto Ricans there in Florida.
Yes, Roland, first of all, can you hear me?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, perfect. No, 1.5 million Puerto Ricans in Florida.
Wow, 1.5. Okay.
Yes, there are 5.6 million Puerto Ricans in the United States, the three biggest states being Florida, New York, and Pennsylvania. And my argument was, and everybody who knows me, Roland, you know me, I'm a Green Party, third party candidate, you know? But I did keep stressing to the Democratic Party leadership, like, you have to go to Florida and talk to Puerto Ricans. You have to go to Pennsylvania. Throughout a lot of my travels as a speaker, I've been to probably every county and city in Pennsylvania. And the Puerto Rican population is large there. You know, so you're also talking about post Hurricane Maria. And what Trump did was he went down there and he promised Puerto Ricans $13 billion, which we know it's a lie. But every Puerto Rican that I spoke to throughout the state of Florida told me no Democratic leadership has asked to visit us. You know, so my argument is you're talking about 1.5 million Puerto Ricans, also who, as American citizens, when we hit the United States, we can vote. And, you know, I just don't think the outreach was there. And I think the outreach should also happen in Pennsylvania. I live in upstate New York, you know, so I'm close to this part of Pennsylvania.
This is not about being a Trump supporter. You see, the Latino brothers and sisters down in Florida, you heard it. You heard what the lady just said. The Democrats didn't reach out. The Democrats did not reach out. Now, me being a black man, I will be labeled a Republican or a Trump supporter when I say, well, Democrats haven't been doing anything for us, so why should they even get our vote? I'll be labeled a Trump supporter. Democrats haven't had to earn the black vote because they already got that in the bag. So what happened is the House lost two congressional seats because the Democrats felt that they had that vote in the bag. So they didn't bother to even go and talk to our Latino brothers and sisters and give them something tangible. Give them something tangible. But that's okay, right? Nobody's up in arms. Nobody's up in arms that our Latino brothers and sisters in Florida voted Trump's way, right? Nobody's upset about that. Only when black folks don't even have to vote for Trump. If black folks say, well, Democrats haven't been doing anything and we need something tangible, let's hold them accountable. Let's put them in the hot seat. Let's hold their feet to the fire. We're going to be labeled as Trump supporters. And when we say, well, hey, let's look at Biden's record. Let's look at Harris' record. Let's look at what they said. We are deemed as Trump supporters. And I knew black folks were going to come out in droves to vote for Biden and Harris. Right? Got to get Trump out of office. But what we've been trying to say all this time is that it's what they did down in Florida. He said, oh, well, check this out. You don't want to come see me? You're not going to get my vote. I mean, I wouldn't suggest that they vote for Trump. I wouldn't suggest that. However, they protested and said, hey, if you want this, you're going to have to come and earn it. And they went Trump's way. Again, I wouldn't recommend it, but they've made their message loud and clear. Now, they lost 2 seats. 2 seats in the House. How do you do that? How do you do that? By not reaching out, by not offering something tangible. I mean, come on. But when black folks say, hey, you're going to have to show and prove, it's a problem. It's a problem. Now, Roland Martin, he didn't attack Latinos down there in Florida the way he would attack black folks who say, I'm not riding with the Democrats on this because of the way they've been treating us. They've turned our back on us. We reach out to them, but they won't reach out to us. Now he used kid gloves. He said that he just want to understand why the Latinos in Florida voted for Trump. But if black folks do it, it's all kinds of, well, your ancestors died for your right to vote and all this other stuff. You see, when we are voting the same way, election after election, decade after decade, it keeps us as black folks in the same place that we're in now, or even worse. And everyone is okay with that. Why is that? Because our vote is important, so others' needs can be met. One more time. The black vote is important, so others' needs can be met. Now, why is our vote so important? Okay, we've been 13% of the population for I don't know how long, which is, the number is extremely inaccurate. Because if we were only 13% of the population, our support wouldn't be as important as they say it is. So that's why I really hope that everyone really participated in the census, whether that's going to mean anything or not. But we know that we're more than 13% of the population here in the United States. We know that. But our vote and support is important to these politicians. So I actually, again, I wouldn't recommend that they voted Donald Trump's way, but I commend what they did. I commend what they did. They sent the message. They sent the message. And it's about time that black folks send a message as well. We need to be independent. We need to be independent. And right now, they're counting up these votes in these states, and we've been waiting a few days to get results from that. And personally, I think that they already know who the winner is. They could be drawing it out for to draw up the suspense and the drama that's going to come with that. Okay. You got the largest and most populous states in the country. You got California, you got Texas, and you got Florida, who you got counts the same day. And we're still trying to figure out Nevada, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Arizona. Come on. And at first I was like, man, this is going to be long. This is going to take a while. But then after last night, I sat there and I watched and I said, you know what? They know who won. They know who won. There's no way that California finished counting their votes same day. Texas, Florida. There's no way that they finished counting their votes in Nevada. It's taking them 2-3 days. Georgia to count these votes. And yeah, well, they had mail-in ballots and this and that. I understand that. But the same thing happened in California, Texas, and Florida. These are the largest, most populous states in the country. These are the smaller states. Can't give us any results. Now, it looks like Joe Biden will be selected to be president of the United States. That's what it's looking like, but you know, we don't know for sure, right? Don't hold your breath. CNN, they have been extra cautious calling any state because of what they did 4 years ago, the games that they played 4 years ago. And they know that if they did that again this year, they will lose just about what little credibility that they have left. Okay. Now, if Biden becomes president, now what? Now what? What do you do? We're just going to sit and say, yeah, you know, we had a Democrat in office. Trump is out of office. So now we're just going to sit. He's got a lot of work to do. Kamala Harris has a lot of work to do. Okay. Again, you know, you got Biden, who has a crime bill, which is the stain on his career. That's the albatross that's hanging on his neck. Okay. Is the 93 crime bill. And then you got Kamala Harris. You know, she was tough on, you know, Black folks as it relates to, you know, the crime and drugs and things like that in California. You know, she, you know, she there were cases where she would, you know, side with the police officers, even though, you know, evidence would tell otherwise. Right now, she tells us that I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black people. No. But it's anybody but Trump, right? Now what? Now, for those of you watching this video, don't label me a Trump supporter because I've seen what the Democratic Party has done to my people for decades. We haven't received anything tangible at all. At all. And for me to be able to call this out doesn't make me a Trump supporter. I already know Trump can give a damn about me and my people. Same thing with Republicans. Neither of them care about us. Neither of them care about us. At what point are we going to say enough is enough? At what point are we going to stop saying, well, you know, it's the lesser of the two evils, so this one is not that bad. We got to stop that. That's not voting. That's no way to live. That's not a quality of life. If every time I'm going to the polls, I have to vote like my life depended on it. What is this? What is this? So how do you hold the Biden-Harris administration accountable? How do you do that? You know, and it's a serious question because we're able to forgive all of that, everything that they've done, right? We've been able to forgive that. Now what? After all the forgiveness, after the forgiveness circle, right? After the love fest, now what? What are we going to do? We're going to go back to bed. What are we going to do? Now, what if Donald Trump wins? What are you going to do? Now what? See, this is my thing. All of this, well, we just got to get Trump out of office. So what's your plan? To get Biden and Harris in office? That's your plan? That's your plan. What's the plan post the election? What is your plan? What is your plan? What is your plan if Trump wins? What is your plan if Biden wins? What is your plan? So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What's next? Now, I say, well, Trump, he emboldened people to come out and be racist and say these types of things. And, they're sending videos of Trump supporters. They're out there, they're messing with people and they're driving around in their trucks and their flags and things like that. Let me tell you something. You cannot legislate hate. You can't legislate that. So how do you do that? How do you handle this? Okay. How do you handle this? So we know that Trump is going to let the dogs loose on you. We know this, right? What is Biden going to do? He's going to wag his finger. Hey, you stop. You stop being a racist. You stop being a sexist. You stop being a homophobic. You stop being xenophobic. Right? What are we going to do? Stop being hateful. He can't do that. There's nothing that he can do about that. There's nothing that he can do about that. But let me tell you why they do what they do. Let me tell you why his supporters do what they do. Okay? They do any damn thing that they want to do. Because the first thing you're going to do when you see them doing some silly shit, when you see them invading your space, the first thing you do is, I'm going to pull out my phone and I'm going to record this so it can go viral, so everybody can know that these Trump supporters are crazy. They're ignorant, they're racist, they're this, they're that. I don't need a video for you to tell me that. I don't need a video for you to tell me that. These are the same ones who voted him in knowing what kind of guy Trump was and is. They knew that. And they voted for him. I don't need a video for you to tell me that. And even more people voted for him this time. So all this pulling out your phone when they all up in your face and invading your personal space and they surrounding you and all this stuff and pulling out what's that going to do? They're going to continue to do things like that because your only defense to that is I'm going to pull out my phone so the whole world can see what they already know about you. Okay? And everyone is talking about, oh, I just can't believe that so many people voted for Trump than last time. So I thought that we were further along than we were. This has never been a post-racial America at all. So stop it with that. Stop it. So how do you handle a bully? How do you handle a bully? Right? And yeah, I'm not one to promote violence and things like that, but how do you handle a bully? How do you handle somebody who invades your space? How do you handle somebody who is a threat to you and your family? You defend yourself. You defend yourself. Well, these Trump supporters this, these Trump supporters that, no problem. Good. I'm glad you flying the flag and I'm glad you saying this and saying that because I know who you are. You're not hiding it. I know who you are. But my human right by nature is to preserve my life and the life of my family. We don't understand that. We run and try to go and vote instead of trying to preserve ourselves. While they're doing whatever the hell they want to do, they're ready and willing to die for this. They're ready and willing to die for it. They don't even know what they're dying for. They're ready and willing to die for this. When anybody who's hugging that flag, right? Hugging that flag and you're disrespecting the flag and all this mess, that's a problem. When they care more about a flag than a human being, that's a problem. You can't legislate that. There's no trying to convert anyone to be a decent human being. Converted, that's over with. Those days are over with. No president is going to fix that. You have to fix that. Once people see that, oh, they're going to defend themselves. So when I'm running up on them and, oh, they're not going to pull out their phone to record me. They're going to throw down and they're going to protect and preserve themselves and their family. They're going to think twice about doing that. They're going to think twice about doing that. You have to stop all this crying and whining and things like that. Because the first thing they tell black folks to do is stop playing victim. Stop playing victim. But they want us to play victim when these crazy folks run up on us. They want us to play victim and run to the polls and go and vote for somebody besides defending ourselves. That's not a constitutional right. That's my human right. That's my human right. So that's how you deal with that. That's how you deal with these clowns, because guess what? They were here before Trump and they're going to be here after Trump. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with a bully? You fight back. You fight back, because that bully is going to know that when they come up on you, they need to figure, well, damn, do I have my affairs in order? Because these people are ready. These people are ready. Understand that. Understand that. Okay. So I want to know what's next after this. What's next? What's next? I'm not Democrat nor Republican. I am pro quality of life. I'm pro quality of life. And neither party is enhancing our quality of life. Okay? We're still trying to get them to enforce laws, enforce legislation that's been on the books for a couple of 100 years. They won't even do that. Same party. Both parties. They won't even do that. And we keep running to the polls, supporting president, vice president, when we have no control over that. And we've been focused on president and vice presidential races for so long that when we actually vote for our senators and representatives and things like that, we don't even know who we're voting for, because we've been focusing on the wrong thing. We've been focusing on the wrong thing. Now, if you focus on Congress and who's going to get in there, who cares if Trump won? Who cares if Trump won, right? If Trump wins, if you control Congress, he's not going to be able to do anything, right? But Republicans control Congress, right? And whatever Trump wants, he gets. We saw it with the Obama administration. With the Obama administration, you know what happened? They said, well, for one, he's going to be a one-term president. Two, when Congress was split, when the Republicans had control, they wouldn't let President Obama do anything. So you got to do your homework. You got to do your research. You got to know basic civics when it comes to things like this. Okay. And whatever party, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Green Party, whatever, You got to make them give you something tangible. It's an exchange. It's a business transaction. Voting is a business transaction. In case you didn't know, voting is a business transaction. So they come to you for your vote. You say, okay, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? And here we go. We're back full circle. Our Latino brothers and sisters down in Florida showed the Democrats how it's done. How it's done. They said, hey, you're not going to come see me? I'll fix you. Wait till November 3rd. And you lose 2 congressional seats in Florida. Protect your mind, love somebody, but more importantly, love yourself. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for when I upload videos just like this. And look, I want y'all to actually listen to what I'm saying. You got to deal with things objectively, okay? Because when you criticize, when black folks criticize Democrats, people get emotional. When blacks criticize Democrats, they get emotional and they start calling them Republicans. They start calling them Trump supporters. I'm like, did you listen to anything that I said? Okay. And I don't need to break things down to a rudimentary level, right? And walk on eggshells, wear kid gloves just so I won't hurt your feelings or you won't think that I'm a Trump supporter. That's over with. That's over with. My people have been through way too much. We've been through enough that I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. I said what I said. That doesn't mean I'm a Trump supporter. Be held accountable. Be held accountable. Because guess what? Biden gets in office. Harris gets in office. What's in it for us? What's in it for us? Right? I don't see no other group that's going to come and say, hey, enforce these laws, enforce this legislation that's on the books for them. That's been on the books for a couple of 100 years. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. We have been voting other people's interests since the beginning of time. We've been voting for other people's interests but our own. It's time for us to vote in our own interests. And guess what? Guess what? If it takes us voting independently and not a major party, then that's what it takes. That's what it takes. I don't understand what's so hard to understand about that. I'm surprised that you're surprised. I'm surprised that you're surprised that black folks are starting to get fed up. Black folks are starting to wake up to what's going on. Again, love somebody, but more importantly, love yourself. Thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you later. Peace.